Good afternoon. It's Chris Duff over at Serious Land Capital, vacant land funding partner. Actually, I hadn't done that greeting before. Saying good afternoon. Who knows when you're listening to this? We're not live here. So, wanted to mention a couple other very recent updates. Kind of continued market turmoil is absolutely top of mind. So, I'm just hammering this topic because, it's of number one concern within our business as a whole here. And, I've been reporting on some findings we're seeing to other land investors who, provided deals for us to fund. And so, updating them on the current strategy, as well as other more established land investors overall, too. We might be ahead of the game a bit in terms of our focus on basically fire sailing our portfolio outside of two larger assets. So I just want to comment even more regarding where we're at within the market. And currently we have three other properties within our pipeline that we're set to close on. Fortunately, one has it's a near double close situation where we already have a signed offer on the back end. We would have to fully close it. It's still subject to conventional financing, but there's already a pre-approval letter in place. So we're feeling pretty confident about that. There's a couple title related issues that need to be solved for us to even close on the property currently that we're waiting on, but feeling strong about that one. Then we have another one that's like a 20K buy that's supposed to close in roughly a week. And that one also had some longer title issues. They're supposed to close on this one probably like a month ago. 20K purchase, that's our bare minimum for what we pursue. And it seems to be something that should sell for, a conservative double, potentially a little bit more than that. Nevertheless, we're so cost conscious right now and focused on recapitalization that I'm planning to reach out to the broker first thing, or right after this holiday weekend, and really gauge how market activity has changed even over the past 2 to 3 weeks. And have to ultimately make a call on whether to either push off the close further or still close as planned. It's a small deal for us, so we think we have enough protection built in, but nevertheless, it's still additional cash that we'd have to allocate into an asset into a very risky environment, in our opinion. So we're still cagey about that, and we've established such a stellar reputation for always closing when we say we're going to, and sticking with our word here. It's just we're in such an extreme environment, and chatting with my core partner, who again is at a much larger hedge fund, and they're updating terms on multi-billion-dollar deals, or just letting competitors either take deals from them, or all competitors plus them are just backing out of deals, and changing terms last minute to account for these shifts in the environment. It is a cagey time, and we have to be super smart about our capital. And I hate pulling last minute bailouts potentially, but until the money is wired out, we always reserve the right to cancel a deal or just push it off indefinitely. The market changes on a day-by-day basis, and especially recently. So I just want final up-to-date information on where the market is for that particular asset, and if there has been even increased trepidation over the last couple weeks, which I wouldn't be surprised, and we feel, hey, this is something we either have to cancel or potentially even adjust terms last minute. Again, it almost makes me a bit of a nervous wreck even uttering this to you. I'm just kind of sharing our thought process here on how conservative we have to be, and just being responsible from a fiduciary standpoint of ensuring that, hey, like, no deal is closed until it's closed, and like we need to look out for the future of our business and other land investors who trust us and look to us as a leader within the industry. Like, now is not the time to be going hard on offense. Like, it's and I love being on offense, and I've mentioned that a ton of times before. It's an easy switch to turn on. Staying patient and being on defense doesn't come nearly as easy to me. But it's what the market is calling for. That's what my instincts are saying. That's what the data is saying, in my opinion. And again, if I turn out being wrong and things switch back to being way more favorable in terms of bullish markets for land and real estate and the economy in general, it's super easy for us to turn the switch back on and just go hog wild with funding deals more routinely again. So that's just kind of what I'm debating there. And then we have a much larger deal, 100K plus, that we've been working on for months. There's a messy title issue. We were supposed to close way back in late December, early January. It just took forever, and we punted it out until late May, just because we're expecting some other deals to come in to recapitalize. And so I really don't want to put in extra liquidity to fund additional purchases outside of retained profits at the moment here, and neither does my partner. So that one, at such a higher cost basis, again, I'm going to use the same strategy. Still check in with the realtor. I'm probably going to I'm thinking about this live. I'm going to check in on a weekly basis, even started this week, and look towards every Monday checking in until the presumed close date. And again, if we really have to bail, I really don't want to. The land investor who brought this deal, worked really hard on it. Is de-risked as can be from just a pricing perspective. The survey came back more favorable, with like 3 extra acres in relation to the purchase price. So it builds in a lot more protection from a PPA perspective, even in a down market. So like, that side is something that we really have to consider. But again, if the market just happens to worsen even more over the next month, and some of our other inventory, even as we're seeking to fire sale, doesn't really shake out, or some of the larger assets, the near $1 million sale that we have under contract, we should know within like a couple weeks whether they're like 85% firm on closing. That could inform a lot of our decision making on moving forward as well too. Plus, we'll have the child parcels from that Louisiana deal on the market by then as well. We'll have some early insights onto marketability there. So to me right now, it's all about buying time, and if things change even on a day by day basis and we have to cancel a deal or try to punt it out further, change terms to make it more favorable for us, like that's just what we're going to have to do. Like, this environment calls for difficult decision making. So just want to share that with you all there, and our rationale behind this. Again, obviously we care, first and foremost about our reputation within the land industry and delivering very solid results. And I don't like backtracking from documentation that we've signed and so forth before. But again, we've always maintained a resolute stance that until wires are out, we always reserve the right to change our position or just lose out on a deal and not choose to fund it if we feel it's going to be too risky. So hopefully this helps convey that message, and that we're not just willy-nilly making decisions like this. It comes with a lot of careful consideration. Like, we even had one parcel that was just listed a week ago and had 2 really strong buyers in. One now is a bit more cagey because interest rates like jumped even a lot over the past couple of weeks. One we was dead set on giving us a written offer 2 days ago, and then the evening of that day they were supposed to send it, they now are on the fence again. So just like, we're seeing even within our business too, like, it's just dispos are tough right now. It is like a extreme buyer's market. at the moment here. So, I'm just trying to, negotiate as necessary. I've told all my brokers, hey, if we get even an inkling of a possible deal here, let's just get something signed. Let me offload this portfolio, recapitalize. I'll be feeling a lot better when we can do that. So hopefully that is helpful as we continue to navigate this environment alongside everybody else here, trying to bring you the most up-to-date information from our side and how we're thinking about things. Again, we understand our position as thought leaders within the industry and the amount of data that we have available in front of us, inside information from huge institutional investment firms, plus our national exposure within our portfolio. It gives us a lot of insight that a lot of other land companies won't necessarily have. So trying to share this with you all for everybody's benefit. And so we can navigate this all together. With that in mind, we are still open for business. Never forget that. Even if we kick out some deals and buy some more time and so forth, like incredible deals will still be funded. There's no doubt about that. Check us out, seriousland.capital. People sending me deals still every day. I haven't, found anything within this recent environment that is sticking out as a done deal here. There's too many question marks, but we're still actively reviewing. You see us on our live daily diligence, land daily diligence, Mondays and Thursdays. Check that out. And landpricer.ai, still a ton of progress there. Going to be reporting on more updates on that shortly. Subscribe and share. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Take care and bye.